Hi everyone, welcome back to our advertising class here at American River College. This week we are reading chapter 11 in the textbook, and it is called Creative Execution, Art and Copy. And in the advertising industry, creative execution refers to the process of bringing an advertising concept to life through, in this chapter, the example of art and copy. And so art and copy are two essential components. They run in tandem and they create the advertisements that we see and that we work on. So let's talk about each component here. So the art aspect of the creative execution means the visual and design elements. So that includes everything from layout and color scheme, the typography that you use, the font that you use, images, illustrations, kind of the overall visual aesthetics. And the goal of art in advertising is to create something that's visually appealing. It should be attention grabbing, something that aligns with the brand's identity, and something, most importantly, that resonates with the target audience. So some things that you think about when you're working on the art component of creative execution include the brand identity, right? We want to reinforce the brand personality and the brand value. We want to be consistent with existing pieces that we have produced. There's also probably an element of visual hierarchy. You want to grab the viewer's attention and really highlight certain elements of the ad and kind of guide them through the process of the messaging or the process of really seeing and hearing the ad. There's also likely an emotional appeal that visuals can help to invoke. And nowadays, since we are bombarded with so many messages through advertising, simplicity is often something that's really important in terms of creative execution on the art side. So the other component of this chapter, one component is about art, one component is about copy. And copy in terms of advertising simply means the written content. So that's the headlines, the taglines, the body of the text, any other written material that accompanies the visual elements. And the purpose of the copy is to convey the brand's message. So whatever we are trying to convince someone to do, much of that can be done with the copy or the written content. So some key considerations when you are thinking about copy in executing your creative are clarity, of course. You want to be sure that people understand the message that you are trying to communicate. Target audience relevance becomes really important. So the language and the tone that you use have to align with the preferences of your specific target audience. Unique selling proposition has to stand out. As we talked about earlier and as we continue to read about, advertising is generally designed to have some sort of a call to action. And so your unique selling proposition, or the thing that helps your company, your product, your service stand out, that has to come through loud and clear in the copy or in the art. And then, of course, we mentioned it, call to action. So there has to be a compelling call to action. How do we tell the audience members, the consumers, to take the desired action? And that should be generally pretty prominent in the copy of an ad. And so the goal of the advertising executive is to ensure that there's synergy between the art and the copy. And we are actually going to take a look at some examples of Super Bowl commercials. And I don't think there's another better way to show you how art and copy, and in this case often humor, come together to create some really fantastic advertisements. The Super Bowl continues to be the place where we see some of the best performing advertisements year round. Now people are watching the Super Bowl not only to watch the game, but also to watch some of the advertisements that are released during the game. And so what better time than in an advertising class to take a look at some of the awesome advertisements that come out every year at the Super Bowl. So let's take a look at some of those really quality advertisements.
Puppy Monkey Baby.
From Puppy Monkey Baby to Clydesdales and Mini Darth Vader, Super Bowl advertising is the big winner on game night. Over the years, companies have tried to make us laugh, cry, and most importantly, buy their stuff. And they've spent billions of dollars doing so.
You're on a boat with a man your man could smell it.
By 2017, a 30-second spot on the big night reached $5 million. but it wasn't always as costly or as competitive. It was 1967 when the first Super Bowl kicked off on national TV.
That's the end of the game with the final score, Green Bay 35 and Kansas City 10.
Back then, 30 seconds of airtime went for around $42,000. Over time, companies started taking risks and winning over viewers with commercials like Coke's 1972 Hilltop and Noxema's 1973 hit. Then the playing field completely changed. Apple's groundbreaking ads set the stage for a new era of Super Bowl ads.
1984 won't be like 1984.
Touchdown, Apple? The ad sparked a creative revolution among advertisers and garnered massive media attention. More companies began planning production months ahead of the big game. Beer giant Anheuser-Busch was among those that made Super Bowl a centerpiece of their marketing. By 1987, Bud Light's Spuds McKenzie made its debut, and 2 years later, the iconic Bud Bowl campaign was introduced.
Bud takes it at the 18. Hands off to Bud.
Then came this. The Bud Frogs. Bud, wise, and Soon after, Bud faced backlash over whether the beer campaign targeted children. The frogs eventually croaked their last croak.
With 10 seconds to go, it's all tied up. Send in the secret weapon.
Anheuser-Busch went up against Miller and other rivals, but it drove its competition off the field when it became the Super Bowl's exclusive beer sponsor. Meanwhile, other rivalries heated up, from soda giants to car makers. By the 90s, Super Bowl commercials had become a television event unto themselves. Spending topped $1 million for 30 seconds of airtime. Companies sought bragging rights for making the best ad of the night, and a creative bowl kicked off. More brands began turning to celebrities to help their Super Bowl spots stand out from the pack. After 9/11, companies increasingly introduced content to reflect the times, with deeper and more emotional storylines. Over the next decade, advertisers shifted between serious campaigns.
What does a town that's been to hell and back know about the finer things in life?
To humorous ones.
Look at your man. Now back to me. Now back at your man. Now back to me. Sadly, he isn't me.
This year, a 30-second spot on the Super Bowl is expected to top $5 million. Companies are willing to pay up because it's the one time a year viewers actually want to watch ads. And some even spend most of their annual ad budget for the one Super Bowl ad.
Woodchuck. Bastard! How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Speed it up, speed it up, speed it up, speed it up, speed it up.
In today's climate, advertisers are touching on topics like immigration, gender inequality, and other social issues that can generate buzz, but risks turning off some viewers too. Those who want to play it safe can always just go for the funny bone, which never goes out of style.
What kind of person wouldn't want to support local business?
I hate local business. Family owned, even better. Shut it down.